For instance, the mic, there we go. I don't think the mic was on. That's helpful. Good morning, everyone. I haven't actually told anybody I'm doing this yet, so I suppose I could share the link. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's go back to here. Okay. We're just going to do it, and then you can watch it later after I get the link for it. Good morning, everyone. This is a severe weather live update. The recording, of course, will be available this morning. The good news, I think, this morning is that they have not upped the risk factor at all with this outbreak of severe storms and tornadoes, too. So it's still the enhanced. As you can see, the very latest Storm Prediction Center forecast is for that bubble really doesn't like us. It is pretty much centered over southwest Missouri and the Ozarks. I couldn't draw it better. It does go up to Columbia and down almost to Little Rock, but that's the enhanced area. So that is a level 3 out of 5 chance for severe weather. Okay, so that's all categories: damaging wind, large hail, and the possibility of tornadoes. So this was just updated about 10 minutes ago. There'll be another update later on, right around the noon hour or earlier if warranted. So we'll be watching that very carefully. So let's do one more thing here and take a look at the tornado hazard here. If we just flip to that. So that right there is interesting. So that's the tornado hazard. So it's a 10% is the yellow area. And that means 10% chance of a tornado happening within 25 miles of a point. So wherever you live, draw a circle 25 miles around you. You know, for most areas of southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, that's a county in size. And there's a 10% chance. Now, that hatched area, you can see in the middle of the yellow, that is a 10% chance of a higher end tornado developing. So the categories go from 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're talking about 3, 4, and 5 categories. So there's a slightly enhanced chance that if a tornado does occur, that's going to be on the stronger side. Now, we've been in these before. And I've seen this probability go up as high as 30, 45%. That doesn't lessen the possibility, though, that we're looking at something pretty significant here today. So this forecast, I doubt, will be changed significantly today. Just be aware of a couple of things. First of all, let's switch to radar here and real quick, and I'm going to show you. There we go. So there's live radar. Now, what I want to do is zoom out a little bit and just kind of give you some perspective here. We've had showers and thunderstorms pretty much off and on for the last several days now, and it continues here at this hour. So we still have these areas here. This is pretty much non-severe line, although there is one severe thunderstorm warning there, just off to the east of Eureka Springs. And then there are other cells that are popping up from McDonald County southward into the Fayetteville area and Rogers in that area. So we've got to watch that very carefully. So we've had several rounds of rain and thunderstorms. And will these be severe? I'm going to take a look. Let's zoom in on this one just a little bit more. I also have some of the surface observations up here. And if we take a look at those, you'll notice that Harrison has a good southeast wind, and so does Mountain Home. They were a little stronger. So does the Branson Airport. But the overall low-level flow is not that impressive yet. It will be by later today. So will these storms become tornadic? It's not impossible. The instability is not quite there yet, although in an environment like this, we don't really need a lot of instability for this to really fire in, because the low-level wind field and the upper-level winds are very supportive of strong thunderstorms. So then there's this line back here. Let me erase those lines there. Then there's this line back here. And remember, if you're joining this later and you're not watching it live, it's 8:13 right now. So, especially when I post these on Facebook, they're notoriously bad about time stamping everything. So please, when you read something I put out, look at when I did it. If it's 3 days ago, you can probably chuck it. If it's this morning at 8:13, you want to pay it a little more attention. Anyway, so there's that line right there. And if we zoom out a little bit more, you see some more activity down here in eastern Oklahoma. So I think the way to look at this is each progressive line that forms today. So we go from, let's see, let me get the cursor over here. This one to this one to this one, and one you haven't even seen yet. Each will have an ability to tap increasing winds out of the south, increasing instability, and then there's a big jet stream just kind of nosing its way in from the southwest, so it's going to help lift the atmosphere and fill in some of the gaps. So with a jet stream like that, you don't necessarily need just crazy instability, because the low-level wind fields, as long as those thunderstorms are surface-based, then they have a pretty high potential of being severe and being tornado producers as well. So that's a look at the live radar. Let me switch gears here back to the let's see. So we're going to go to here. We've already looked at that. I wanted to look real quick at the low-level setup here. And let me just scroll down a little bit. And let's see. Let's see. Just give me a second here. Getting pretty good at this stuff, but I'm still not perfect by any means. All right, let me move it. I'm going to move myself over to here. There we go. There we go. Okay. This right here is the SPC's mesoanalysis. So what you're looking at right here is just a big bubble of instability. 500 CAPE is not incredible. 500 CAPE here. Notice that the low-level winds that's these little kind of orange, brownish colored things are pointed in this direction. That's favorable for spinning in the lower part of a thunderstorm. And all those will get better as the day progresses. And so that's one parameter we can look at. If you want to look at another one here, we can look at just plain old upper level 500 millibar analysis here. And let me scroll that back down. And that's the little short wave right there in the panhandle of Texas. And that is that's a speed max right there. Circle that right here, and that's what's overtaking much of this area. So it doesn't take much under these dynamic conditions to get something that looks kind of into something that looks pretty bad in just a few hours. So it's very dynamic. So it's the threat area is centered on the Ozarks. So you're probably wondering, well, what's the timing of the storms? Which ones are going to be severe? One of the best things that we can do in that circumstance is just simply look at model data. And well, that's not it. Let's see, although that was kind of interesting. So here's some model data we can look at, and this is the HRRR, and let me back this up a little bit here, and this is the latest run, so this is valid pretty much an hour ago. It takes a while to run the model, actually, so you can't get it instantly. But this is showing a scattering of thunderstorms about as you would expect. So I want to just kind of take you through here and show you this is the projection for 10 a.m. right here. This is the projection for noon right here. You see a couple thunderstorms starting to pop up, and especially in Kansas and Oklahoma, I want you to keep an eye on those. This is 1 p.m. Here's 2 p.m. So we have this string of pearls. Now, one thing that I think is interesting is if these cells can remain discrete. In other words, if they don't form necessarily a solid line, but can stay individual like that, that's worse for tornadoes, actually. And also, what's going to happen, you're going to see on this map these little swaths, or like snail trails. This is where the updraft spinning is at a maximum, like one right there. See that? So as I move this forward, watch for those. Now, they're not always consistent. They don't always remain. Like this cell, for instance, looks like it's something to watch, but it doesn't have, at least according to the model, a strong helicity updraft. But this one here, right around Lamar, does. And that's been showing up pretty consistently. And I'll have my comment on that here in just a second. But let's move forward again. So again, this one that goes from near Lamar to just around the Clinton area has been, again, fairly consistently showing up when I watch at other runs of the model. So that's one area of the Ozarks I would keep an eye on. So Springfield is getting this forecast to move through. This is valid at 4 p.m. This is the 4 p.m. projected radar. Again, take that with a grain of salt. When I look at these, I say, give or take an hour, give or take a county. That's a good way to look at this because the model runs do change. But one thing, so I'm looking for these snail trails. There's a lot of them been showing up here in northeast Missouri. There could be some trouble up there with tornadoes. Those seem to be a little bit more discreet. Keep an eye on that as a chase target today. But let's keep going, though. Here's 4. This is 4 o'clock. So here's 5. And here's 6. And I want you to notice that at 5 o'clock, we have another little trail here. This one's been showing up pretty consistently from Taney County, southeast of Springfield, And then these areas up here in northeast parts of the state, again, have been showing up consistently, as has this. If you have studied meteorology, the triple point for the developing low is right in this area here. So that's often a favorite area for stronger storms. So that's a look at the model data. So it kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at here. Now, one thing I can do is I can just take a look at all the trails of all the stronger updrafts, and if I just move that forward. So that gives you an idea of where thunderstorms might be laid down. Again, this map is highly probable or improbable. I mean, it doesn't, don't take it with a grain of salt unless, like I said, some of the, take it with a grain of salt, sorry, unless some of these, like this one here, this is what I was talking about, this one right here has been showing up pretty consistent. These have, and so has this one right down here, south and southeast of Springfield proper. So that is the update this morning. I'll be watching this very carefully. I will likely be on a live storm streaming chase today. I have it on YouTube scheduled for 1 p.m. That might be a little early. I don't know. I'll just be watching for it. And again, the easiest way to know I'm going to do one of these is to subscribe to my channel, and then you can turn on notifications, and you'll always know when I'm ready to do a new update. So I appreciate it watching. Again, I didn't advertise this one live very well, and I wanted to play with my ability to show things live, because pre-recorded is a different animal than trying to do it live. Things go wrong. So that's part of the experience here. Just keep an eye to the sky. There's not much additional heavy rain, by the way. Some of the cells will still produce heavy rain, but the broad, massive heavy rains are just about over, although this ground is so saturated, any thunderstorm is going to produce a flash flood warning potential, I think. But they are going to be moving faster today, so that should mitigate that somewhat. Again, if I have any more updates, I will probably do a video, not a live, but there will be a live stream event if I'm in the Ozarks. Even if I'm away, I have Starlink now, so I can update the Ozarks even if I'm upstate. So again, thanks. Be safe out there. Happy Easter, and we'll see you in the next video.